Hey guys, today I'm going to be discussing the scientific principle of strength training, overload. So basically, what is overload? Overload is placing your body under increased stress over a period of time to cause an adaptation. Essentially, your body needs to be placed under enough stress to make it perceive that it needs to adapt in order to survive. Like the whole training process is based on survival. Your body is designed to survive. So if you place it under that stress, your body adapts to be able to tolerate that stress more effectively in future. So overload is essentially increasing the amount of stress you're placing your body under to basically keep that adaptation going. As I discussed in one of my other videos on linear progression, this is essentially what overload is. So increasing the load, whether that be volume, intensity, training density, any variables, basically increasing the load over time, increasing the total training stimulus over time, basically continues the adaptation. So overload is essential. It is basically essential to all training. Like, without overload, you're not actually going to make any improvements. When discussing the principle of overload, it's also very important to understand the concepts of overreaching and overtraining. So overreaching can be categorised into two main things, like functional overreaching and non-functional overreaching. And it's like a continuum, like functional overreaching, then the next worst thing is non-functional overreaching, and then overtraining, and that's completely negative. So what is functional overreaching? Functional overreaching is kind of like, that's that point in your training when you're doing too much at that one period of time. It's like a non-sustainable workload. However, you will take a deloading period after that and experience like a super compensation. Your performance will go up. So initially your performance will go down with functional overreaching, and after the layoff you'll come back and be up there. And the second, we've got non-functional overreaching. And this basically when you send overreaching too far. So you either carry on the overreaching cycle too long, you don't take a deload when you need to, you underdo your deload, don't take enough time off, and you end up messing up, and that's like, it's too much of a demand that your body can't adapt to. It's just too much, really. And finally, overtraining, which is fairly rare, and it's a really, if you get overtraining, it's a serious medical condition. It's not something you just get just messing around in the gym. It's a serious thing that only really affects like multi-sport athletes, guys who are doing mostly guys who just do exercise as their job. Is a problem with overtraining. You've got to be doing hours and hours on end of exercise per day to even experience that. The application of overload within a training program basically boils down to the process of to the concepts of periodization. Like, periodization is essentially just different protocols of increasing load, increasing the overload over time. Also, in periodization, there's also things of like dealing with fatigue management, things like that. But the whole idea of utilising periodization is a method to increase the overload over time. Like, beginners can increase load session to session just by adding weight, linear progression all the time, adding the weight week in, week out. Whereas intermediate and more advanced lifters run into problems of being able to achieve the overload. Like, you can't just add weight onto the bar because you physically cannot do it. So you need to use like methods of periodization to increase the overload over time. And it doesn't always happen in a linear fashion. So you might increase the volume. You might like increase the volume, then drop the volume back down, and then increase intensity. But over time, like on a year on year out program, your volume will increase, your average volume will increase, your average intensity will increase. Like, this is essential to keep moving forward in training, otherwise you just stay where you are. So overload is one of, if not the most important concept to understand of these scientific principles. Pitfalls of guys you see who do not regularly involve enough overload in the training. I mean, you see these guys all the time, the guys who are always lifting the same weights year in, year out, they never make no progress because there's no actual focus within their training of improving load over time and no actual overload. And basically what happens in that situation is that lifter's body has adapted to the load that they've placed on it, and it doesn't really need to adapt anymore to be able to deal with that stress because the stress is not increasing. Your body does not like. Your body does not like holding loads of muscle mass. You know, your body basically resists you from gaining strength and resists you from gaining muscle mass. Like, you have to force it into it. Like, the natural state is not to keep muscle, because muscle is very like metabolically metabolically expensive, and it costs your body a lot of energy to be able to basically keep on to muscle. As I said earlier, like, overload can be increased by overloads in volume or intensity. So likewise, when reducing your overload to manage fatigue, you're also going to you can also deload in volume or intensity. So if you're training like high, so you can basically drop off your volume so you can recover better and come back in and negate that phase of well, not negate, but reap the benefits of your period of overreaching. When it comes to overload, it's also important not to overlook the fact of just working hard. Like, overload's hard work. So putting in hard work in the gym, you don't get the results without putting in the hard work. Like, a lot of guys just pussy around in the gym doing like pansy exercises. That ain't going to get you nowhere. You need to get in there, train your ass off, and basically just lift like a madman. And there's your overload taken care of, really. It's also important to note, on the other hand, you can take it way too far with overload, doing too much volume. Like that basically, wise, like intensity wise, you can't really do too much. You can lift as hard as hard as you can. Like, the main problem with lifting high intensity is the recovery of like joints and connective tissue. But to a certain extent, you can train as heavy as heavy as you want, and just like absolutely smash it in the gym. Just basically work hard, and like overdoing it volume wise. You see guys coming in like a lot of bodybuilding guys. I think they've got a problem body part, and they do like 300 sets for that body part, and that's just like a waste of time, if nothing else. And it's just going to cause too much fatigue, and they're not really going to reap the benefits from it. So in summary, then, basically, over the principle of overload, basically just linear progression of adding weights and increasing difficulty over time to basically keep the body adapting. You've got to keep increasing the stress to give your body a reason to actually adapt and hold on to muscle and gain strength. That's all for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you've got any questions, please ask down below. Please click like and please subscribe. Peace out.